Hello everyone and welcome to my next reaction to the Acolyte. So the last episode was insane and I feel like we are going to be dealing with the fallout of that, but we are also going to be dealing with the fallout of May and Osha switching places, and I have a feeling that this is going to be a bit of a character building episode for both of them. Let's find out. Oh. Well, at least he patched you up. And made a lovely lunch. He may have killed a bunch of your friends, but he's also the hostess with the mostest. Okay.
Transmission. Emergency code 0.
Jason, repeat.
There's
been a massacre! The Jedi are taking L's!
My whole team is dead.
Oh.
Contact.
Oh. I don't know if that went through.
We were ambushed.
Oh, Basil is sniffing you out, girl. Sniff, sniff.
Than we anticipated. Osha, I'm going to reset the transceiver.
I am very curious if he knows. It's all right. Take a moment. Take a moment. Oh, are you going to help Pip? Oh! Love, I think he knows you're there. This may not be true, but I feel like that water could be very cold. I don't know.
How does it feel?
Don't move.
Feels good, doesn't it? Your stance is good. You should keep your other elbow up higher. Allows for a swifter block. I'm wondering if it's honorable to kill me like this. Heat of battle. It's justified. But a few hours later, it's vengeance. Now you're wondering how I can read your mind. Your anger betrays your thoughts.
Why bring me here? Why not kill me? Am I supposed to be your prisoner?
Prisoner. You're the one with the weapon.
Did you kill Saul?
No.
Did you kill May?
No. Interesting you ask about him first, though. He taught you the Jedi arts, but he's more to you than that. A special relationship, isn't it? Master and pupil.
Okay, I feel like there's more to unpack there on his side of things. We shall see.
You saved us, Osha. You saved me. That man, He corrupted your sister. He pushed me to a place I'm sorry. It's time for me to face the High Council. To tell them everything.
Everything?
Can you tell us everything?
Clear more transmission.
Oh,
Rancor has never been a friend of the Jedi. But I worry his fears convinced so many.
A review should not be cause for alarm. The Jedi are always transparent with the Senate. This is a case of an ambitious senator grasping for power.
Apologies, Senator. I must go.
always
But thank you for your
transparent.
update. What did he say?
There were casualties.
Who?
The connection was faulty, but it sounded like the entire team.
Prepare a rescue team to depart for the planet Kofar immediately.
How do you know where he is?
I sent him there.
You speak as if you were a Jedi.
I was. A long time ago.
I've never heard of you.
It was a really long time ago.
Why'd you bring me here?
What do you think?
Leverage?
Everyone does seem to want you.
I think he wants a
You're so
friend.
close to you. He's found me before.
You hungry?
Oh, right, he made a lovely lunch. Oh! Oh! Oh, Basil's gonna get you. Gonna get you. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for laughing. Hey! Hey!
Fine. Reset new factory settings.
Hey! Oh! Pip. I do love that she's killed Jedi. And these two lit her up. Briefly, but you know.
The Jedi teach there's only one way to access the Force. And if you don't do it their way, it fades. But there is another way. Below the surface of consciousness are powerful emotions. Anger, fear, loss, desire.
That's the path to the dark side.
Semantics.
Semantic.
I knew that's what he was gonna say! Sorry.
You murdered my friends.
I killed Jedi. I killed those who threatened my existence.
You killed Yord.
A man who didn't hesitate to turn you in for a crime you didn't commit.
You killed Jackie.
And where did you think that was going to go? You would have had the same relationship with her that you have with your master. One-sided. Why do you love people who can only go so far?
Oh.
Who can't go as deep as you can?
Oh. Okay.
I'm not my sister. I'm not that easily corrupted.
Oh, this is all interesting. Boy.
Turn it on.
A Jedi doesn't attack the unarmed.
Why do you still think of yourself as a Jedi? They didn't want you to.
It's not true. I left
Why?
because I chose to.
Are you sure about that? This anger, this pain, this is who you are. The Jedi saw it, and that's why they threw you away.
They didn't throw me away.
Then why aren't you a Jedi?
Because I failed!
Oh!
I lost everything. Osha. But when you lose everything, that's when you're finally free.
Oh my goodness. What a champ over here. What a champ.
I ran a diagnostic. Had to restart the system. Should be 5 minutes or so. Soul? What is it?
How could I not have sensed that villain's true intentions when we first met him on Olega?
I think when you really want something, it can cloud your mind. You see what you want to see. He fooled us all.
You found him. You kept Droid.
Yes. He's okay now.
I noticed the way you take care of him, talk to him, love him, even though he's just a machine.
I've always been like that. Even when I was little.
I know.
I had to lose a lot of myself in order to become a Jedi. Even if I didn't know it at the time.
I'm sorry if you felt that way.
Have you told me everything that happened on Brendock?
You were very young.
Oh boy.
But I'm not now. You can tell me. Hello, is anybody there? Can you hear me?
Identify yourself.
My name.
Oh! Well, okay.
May.
Okay.
Master Soul, the rescue team is on their way. Leave your transponder on.
Oh! Basil's out of here. He's out of there. It's like people bringing me places. Everybody keeps dying. It's a mess. A whole mess.
Seems an Umbramoth colony hatched last night and wreaked havoc on a local settlement. If the Jedi had been anywhere near that colony, that could explain a large amount of casualties.
It could.
Mm-hmm.
This way.
I feel like once they find the bodies, they're gonna have more questions. Probably.
You made a mistake with me. I thought she wanted more than just revenge. I thought she wanted what I want.
What do you want?
The power of two.
Where'd you get that scar?
How do you think I got it?
Looks like someone stabbed you in the back.
Someone who threw me away.
Your Jedi Master?
Kurtosis. Handy against lightsabers, but also a sensory deprivation headpiece. Like we used as younglings.
It blocks out all your senses?
So it's just you and the Force. And what you bring with you.
Oof.
Try it on.
Do
I
you
don't trust
bring a
you.
lot of anger with you? Oh, okay. I didn't need that. I didn't need that. Okay. Oh, Jackie.
What happened here?
What do you see?
An explosion, then a battle. One versus many. His power extraordinary, his skills erratic.
Whoa! Oh! Oh!
They were all killed by a lightsaber.
A powerful Jedi has fallen. You don't think Master Soul was responsible?
That is quite the accusation.
Who else would possess the power to slay such a strong group?
Something to tip the scales.
But if he did this, why would he send us a distress signal?
It's time to get back to the ship.
Because it wasn't Soul.
We should prepare these.
I have no intention of harming you, May.
And let me go.
She might have intention of harming you. I don't know.
I will. You and I are going to talk. I've had 16 years to think about what I would say to you if I ever got the opportunity. So you're going to listen.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh my. Oh, no, there's more. She's gonna put that on, isn't she? Man, you can't see shit in that. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Dude, I know that you need to see more with the Force than with your eyes and all that, but it doesn't seem like the most comfortable headwear. Okay, never mind. Well, all right, everyone, let's get into it. The first thing that I want to say about just the season in general, and I have a feeling that I am going to be alone on this one. I actually like the fact that these are shorter episodes, and not just because it makes, you know, my job a bit easier as a reactor. Listen, I have 2 shows right now that normally clock in at over an hour that I try to get out same day, which is House of the Dragon and The Boys. And yes, I'm very, very happy that The Acolyte is a little bit of a shorter episode, shorter edits, all of that. However, I feel like these episodes kind of feel like little vignettes sort of peeling back the layers of this story. And sometimes they're very character focused like this. Sometimes it's a flashback. Sometimes it's building up mystery. And sometimes it's pretty intense and there's conflict and all of that, like in the last episode. For some reason, I'm kind of okay with the shorter episodes. And I know that that's not really going to be true for most people watching this. I feel like people are kind of accustomed to a specific type of storytelling. But for me, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. And, you know, I had a feeling going into this episode that it was going to be very, very character focused, character building, and possibly, again, peeling back layers of, you know, maybe some other characters other than Osha and May, specifically Kamir and Soul. So, before I get into all of that and, like, really get into it, I would just like to say that Basil is really climbing that ladder to be my favorite character of this show. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. There's not much more to say other than that. Okay. Here's the thing. You know, it was really, really interesting watching Soul in this episode, and I have a feeling that the next episode we might get another kind of flashback situation, and we're going to deal with what actually happened with Soul way back when. And I already said this in a previous reaction, I would like it to be a lot more nuanced than like, oh, it turns out he's actually a scumbag. Or like, no, he was so good the whole time. I mean, that would, you know, it just wouldn't make sense why he would hold back so much if, you know, he did everything right. You know what I mean? There's more to his story. And I really do think a lot of how I'm going to view this show as, in the long run, is going to be slightly contingent on how they wrap up his story specifically. Now, I know that there's a lot of players in this and everything like that, but I really want it to have a good payoff. I want there to be nuance. I want the people who are watching this show, half of the people to be on his side and half of the people not to be on his side. You know what I mean? Like this sort of possibly it just be more in-depth gray area, but also maybe we can see why he kept things to himself. But it's a little hard to speculate when you don't really know exactly what's going to happen there. Now, throughout this episode, I obviously was curious, especially at the beginning, to be like, does he know that that's May? And I honestly wouldn't even, you know, at the start of this episode, I really didn't know if he knew it was Osha or May. And at the start of this episode, I wouldn't blame him for, I mean, he's just went through a lot. They all did, but you know what I mean? I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see where his character goes, particularly with May and what their interactions are going to be like. You know, it seemed very intense there at the end, I'll just say that. And, you know, poor Basil. He's just on this ship. Oh, Basil. Just in all sorts of messes, really. And so then we get to sort of the other side of things with Osha. And I actually really liked that we were also diving into Khmer and his past and what he, his perspective on everything. There's something really interesting about the theming of this episode specifically. And I have to say that, in my opinion, the best thing about this episode is dealing with these themes. What's the difference of guiding someone, teaching someone, educating someone, however you want to say it, right? In kind of the right way, into your line of thinking, and what's corruption. I liked that both sides were talking about the other like they are corrupting. And if it's an ideology that you do not really agree with, you say that as corrupting. And I don't mean to get political at all or anything like that, but talking in very vague terms, right? About just even politics today. A lot of people who are very on one side or the other see the other side as corrupting people, right? And what's the difference of teaching what you feel is right in your core, and then, you know, you're viewed in the other side as, no, they're corrupting. Interesting. That was like I liked all of kind of the lines that had to do with that in this episode. I like the theming of this. And I think probably both Osha and May, one, they were very young, kind of starting their journeys after the incident, we'll say, right? And they also have their own perspectives of what happened. And I don't think either of them has closure on what happened. They may have like what they felt has gone down, and especially Osha possibly kind of questioning what's going on with Soul and stuff like that, and you know, possibly May will also be enlightened with whatever Soul's going to tell her and all of that stuff. But it's really, really interesting to see both sides kind of feel oddly the same way about each other, even though one is sort of very embedded in rules, and the other is more about, I guess, freedom and using your emotions and all of that. You know, I do think it's going to be very interesting what paths May and Osha specifically are going to take. Will Osha be guided to the dark side or corrupted by the dark side? You know, all of that. And, you know, what path is she going to take for the last 2 episodes? I don't know. I really don't. I did find it hilarious that I called what he was going to say when she was like, what did she say? It was something like, that's going to the dark side or whatever. And he was like, semantics. Oh my goodness. You know, and I thought it was quite interesting seeing his motivations too. You know, I think he's felt very abandoned. And I'll get more into that in a second. I think he's felt very abandoned. And I would assume he really had no other place that he felt he could turn to. And especially if you feel very slighted, particularly by the Jedi and all of that, you know, that's kind of what led him there. And if Osha feels like she was possibly also guided in a certain direction and lied to, I think it might be easier for her to tap into those emotions, so to speak. And that might be going over a line that you might not be able to necessarily come back from or want to come back from. I don't know. And it was interesting when he was talking about killing Yord and Jeki. And I did think the line was very interesting when he said, you know, why do you care for people you can only go so far with, or you could only go so deep with? Because there is this kind of arm's length sort of relationships that a lot of Jedi can have with one another. I don't necessarily think that that's always true, just my opinion. And I did have a gut reaction when he said that, especially about Jeki. I was just like, okay, but that doesn't excuse you killing. You know what I mean? I understand that his point in that was, why do you care? Not necessarily about whether or not he should have killed them. And, you know, I don't necessarily agree with that, sir. You know what I mean? I just want to put that out there. But it was interesting that the focus kind of went onto who are you attached to, and are they worthy of that attachment, or will that attachment go anywhere? And I think he wants this power of 2, so to speak, that is deep-seated and I don't know if I'm going to say this right, a connection that he feels will be someone who understands everything that he's been through, and to teach them or corrupt them. You know what I mean? I think it's a really, really interesting look into his character and his motivations, with, you know, maybe very little stuff given in this episode, but enough that you kind of get a better idea of who he is as a character. And I thought that was really interesting. I hope all of that made sense. Sometimes I just ramble and I'm like, I don't know if that made sense. Anyway, which is going to bring me to my final thought. And again, this has happened in another reaction recently for a different show, but I'm going to say, if for some reason I have a speculation, I have a theory Okay? If for whatever reason you don't want to hear the theory, just on the off small chance that it's right, just stop right here. I'm not going to talk about anything else other than this theory. So if you don't, just shut off the video. Press pause, exit out, see you later. I'll see you next week. But if you would like to know what I am thinking, it's so funny. So many times in these shows, I don't try to speculate. This show has a lot of mystery, so it's kind of hard to not have, some speculation going on. But I try to just watch for what it's worth, and I try not to pick everything apart and theorize, but that doesn't mean that my brain's not working and that I'm not thinking some things. And what I am thinking, and I believe possibly a lot of people might be suspecting, is that Venestra is his former Jedi Master. I think so. I think it's possible. Now, she seems to be very personally tied to this, and she wants to go, and she wants to, just to some of the expressions she was making through this. Now, it's very possible that she feels bad because, she sent Soul there, and, there's that personal thing as well. However, I think it's possible. I think it's possible that she's the master that he's talking about, and she might be sensing something. You know what I mean? She might be a little worried about, and it would also kind of make sense to why she wants to kind of not be super, super transparent and not want everything to get out. Because it might be her former apprentice that she's sensing is up to some shenanigans or massacres. One of those. Maybe. Maybe not. But maybe. That's all I wanted to say. Yeah, really enjoyed. I think I am alone in really enjoying the layout of the season. But I think it's going to be interesting. I think the next episode we're going to get another flashback, and then the last episode will be maybe everything kind of coming to a head, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I really do hope you enjoyed this reaction, and I do hope that I was as eloquent as I tried to be with putting my thoughts out there for how I felt about the kind of the corruption and guiding theme very heavily in this episode. I really enjoyed that look into this, and I just hope the next 2 episodes are executed really, really well. Let's hope. All right. If you would like to support me on Patreon or subscribe, I would really appreciate it. But if not, I'm just happy that you were here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.